And welcome. So we're a week off. We just had, it was just Thanksgiving, so forgive us. And we still are struggling with time and location. So we're traveling today. We're not doing it from our house, so you shouldn't hear our dogs. But thanks for listening. We're gonna dive a little bit into some, I think, confidence, and how it applies, and like some real life stuff. So super cool. So a little background: when I first got saved, I liked writing, and it was a good outlet for me. And so I started a blog, and I started writing a blog, and as I was writing, I discovered that I was taking myself, God was taking me, and I was just following him and being obedient through what I call unpacking, which is taking me through some trauma in my life, taking me through things that had happened. And through my writing, I was able to work through some things, deal with some things, come to some realizations, and it was super good stuff. But I did write a blog called about confidence, and I wanted to talk about it today. It's Christmas season, and for some people, this season is really hard for more reasons than just one. For us, it's dark now at 5 p.m. And
staying awake after 6 p.m. is a struggle.
Yeah. And you want to eat more, and so your sugar's all out of whack, and there's just a whole bunch of stuff. But yesterday during service, our pastor talked to us about hope. And she gave some statistics on suicide and things, and it's just kind of eye-opening. And it really is this season. Like, it's cold, it's dark early. People, you have the haves and the have-nots in reality. You have people that can afford to have a great Christmas, to be able to bless other people and give gifts and do that. And then you have those people that are have-nots, that they don't have it. Every dollar they make goes to something that is, necessary.
Well, not just in the dollar aspect. There's a lot of people, like it's family season.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't have that.
Yeah. Or they do, and it's dysfunctional, or, you know what I mean? Real life, so yeah. Or you get to spend time with people that you don't generally spend time with,
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, that there's probably 1.5 billion reasons, but, so I'll talk about confidence a little in the fact that, for a long time in my own life, I thought I was very confident. I mean, I never considered myself to be insecure or to have a lack of confidence. And so I'm curious, you've been with me like 17 years or something. So when you met me, was that a thought in your mind, like, ooh, this girl's insecure?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But we were different people then, and I think we masked a lot of things with substances, which made us be other people in a sense.
Yeah. Fake confident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I was digging into confidence, and I also wrote a blog on pride, because what I found was my confidence was pride. My confidence was not real. It was me convincing myself that I'm better than everybody else, that I'm the coolest cat in the world, and you know what I mean? Like,
I remember that strut.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and it really was. It was just pride is false confidence is pride. Not always. I'm not going to say always, but for me in my journey, that's exactly what it was. fooled me into believing that I was confident. And as I started to walk with Jesus and as I started to learn and dive in and he started to refine me, I started to learn and see that the confidence that I had wasn't real. There was no root to it. It was based on a lie, which was I convinced myself that I made better decisions than everybody else. I knew better than everybody else. I was, I mean, really, that's what it was. And the reality is, I wasn't. The reality is I sat when nobody was looking, even including myself, in a place of severe insecurity. And because of that, I had so much pride because if I didn't, I wouldn't survive. And I've always had to be a survivor. No matter what comes at me, I will survive no matter what it takes. If that means that I have to have fake confidence, if I have to drench my false confidence in pride that I'm better than everybody else so I don't have to feel like I'm not good enough, then that's what I was going to do. And I noticed, like, as I was blogging and writing and a lot of things in my life, a lot of situations that I've been in, we don't get... So I was in a relationship that was not great for a while. And in that relationship, I was the leader of everything. I'd handled everything. I took care of everything. There wasn't a chance for me to ever waver, basically. I had to be responsible. I had to handle everything. I had to take care of everything. So anything that came at me traumatic, anything that came at me that hurt me or whatever, instead of dealing with it, I packed it down way in because I didn't have time to deal with that. I didn't have time to deal with that in the moment because I was busy. I had to be busy, and I had two kids that I was raising, and like I remember one of our kids going through something, and in a conversation with him, I started to cry. And you said, and after our kid left, you said, "You can't do that," and I was like, "You can't do what?" You said, "You can't cry to him because now he's 10 times more worried than he was before because he's never seen your reaction like that." At first I was like, I can cry if I want to, but then after thinking about it, that is a side of myself that I didn't let them see because I wanted to save them from worry or from anything that they had to endure. So in a way, you were right. He was like, "Oh man, Mom's crying, something serious. This is serious, serious stuff," And so we kind of learn, like the things that we go through in life, we kind of learn. If we don't have natural confidence, then we learn to put on a fake confidence. Like you said, we were different people then, but really we just wore masks. Mm-hmm. That's all. And like our childhoods, I think, are where we start to we rediscover ourselves and we discover our confidence in ourselves.
Well, I've always considered myself a confident person. Like I can walk into a room full of people and fit in, but it's because of my mask that I know. I've always been the new kid growing up. Every school I went to, I was in a new school every year from 7th grade all the way till the end of school. I was the new kid. So I had to paint this face on to make friends. And I carried that with me everywhere.
Yeah.
You throw me in a group of people at any given time, I'll make some friends. Will it be genuine? Probably not. But I can be confident in being able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn how to be confident as this new kid who's getting picked on okay, next year I'll be good. I know what not to do now.
Right. But, okay, let's just tear that apart for a minute. Do you think that that is actual confidence?
No. No, it's just a mask of confidence.
Okay. So as you're growing and as you've gotten older, do you have a different take on how confident you are?
I think I'm still confident in myself. I'm just less. I'm less careful and more carefree.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
a lot of people get,
I
anxious.
think that is confidence.
A lot of people are, anxious and they don't want people to think a certain thing. And I don't care.
Right.
Like, think that. I don't care.
Right. Did you because you and I have very different childhoods, not for reasons other than really our level of confidence. So when I was growing up, I didn't know how to do that. I could not, nothing I did would help me to fit in. I didn't fit in anywhere. I feel like from a very young age, and I honestly can't remember, but I remember being in trouble in school when I was younger. And even as I grew up, I dropped out of high school because the only people who I felt accepted by were the stoners and the people drinking and skipping school and being bad. And so I clung to them because I was lonely as a human and I wanted people to like me. And I think that, like you said, it changes who you are. So as I started to grow up and become older and having my own child, alcohol really helped me be confident. And I thought that if this is really terrible, but as humans, we're manipulative, in case you don't know that. And I don't believe for 1 minute that there is one person out there that doesn't manipulate things sometimes without even realizing it. I used, like you said, my mask to manipulate people into believing that I was super confident, super, on top of things, like got my life handled. You know what I mean? I might be an alcoholic and my kids might be suffering, but nobody's going to know it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody's going to know it because this is all handled. Because on the outside, and fast forward 20 years, it wasn't all handled. But I think that is like, I think that it all stems from confidence, because we had to, instead of becoming actually confident in ourselves, we created fake confidence, really. It's like when we used to drink. We had alter egos. I was Diane and you were Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we drank, we became different people.
Yeah.
And so it's like that. That's what Dawn and Corey, their whole lives really were.
Multiple alter egos.
Yeah, fake people, because we weren't real. We weren't, and now do you think, since you've gotten saved and you have a relationship with God, that you are building more confidence in a different, healthy way and becoming more like yourself?
Yes.
And why? Why is that?
Because I know God's got me and I don't have to be any other way than the way he created me. Okay, so if you're listening to him, then, so you're finding your confidence through him. Like, he created me this way, this is what. This is just me.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then take it up with him.
Yeah, handle it. Yeah, and I think that it is, I feel the same way. And I'm still learning day in and day out. And I'm recognizing things within myself, and we call it's the refining process. Like, I'm finding things within myself, new things to pray about. Like I just talked about manipulation. Now sometimes my prayers are, don't help me to recognize when I'm being manipulative. Because we're married. We've been married for a long time. this may come as a surprise to you, but I could manipulate you into doing what I want you to do.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes, even at work with other people, we use specific words. We use specific spit it out. Specific mannerisms, things like that. Specific stories, whatever we can to manipulate people, and we do that. Like we do it first off because we're selfish, fleshly humans, but second off because it's safer for us if we can control the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you and I are in a fight, I don't even know. We don't. Corey and I don't fight, so this is unusual.
It's laughable.
Yeah. So if you and I were in a fight, like I would know, and you would too. You would know words to use that would hurt me, or I would know words to use that would hurt you. If I need you to give me a reaction, because that's what I need, and I'm going to control the situation, then I'm going to, be manipulative. And it's just, I think that, we learn, instead of learning to be confident in ourselves now we are learning with God how to be confident with ourselves. But for our entire lives, we've had to be just confident in ourselves. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to have confidence in myself. I don't know how to fail, get up, feel okay about that failure, move on, learn, and do better. That's a deficit that I have. I'm so afraid to fail. And I'm afraid to fail because I don't want people to look at me or talk bad about me or say things about me or, because, ultimately we want everybody to like us. So we wear this mask. Mm-hmm. And so if I won't even try something if I think I'm going to fail at it. Like if I think, like I admire you because Corey's a hobby hopper and he changes hobbies often. And, but he'll try anything. If it looks interesting to him, he'll try it. If it looks interesting to me, like, for instance, like the knitting and stuff like that and crocheting, mm-hmm. It looks so interesting to me. And I think that it would be so awesome, but I don't want to try it because what if I fail?
Well, you will. Everything is a learning process.
Yeah, but if you don't have that confidence within yourself, if you don't have enough confidence in yourself to accept failure, then you're not going to step out of your own, your own box, your own level of comfort into this area that I completely control, that is completely controlled by me. Like if God told me today, I would like you to start crocheting, then he'd have to tell me a couple more times, and I would eventually try it. But naturally, I don't have, it looks really cool, but I don't have the desire to try new things because I'm afraid of failure. And it comes from a lack of confidence within myself. Like I'm learning. We do this podcast. If I was in front of a bunch of people doing this podcast, I think that I don't know if it would be as much fun. I don't know if Corey's been trying, he says we need to videotape it. But my insecurities make it so that I literally
don't want me to.
I don't want you to. I'm out. If you want, because podcasts apparently are more watched more frequently than they are listened to. So he's been talking about it, but my insecurities of myself, what is everybody going to think about me or whatever?
They're all going to be making fun of my teeth. They're not going to say anything about you.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Confidence is everything. And when we don't have our own confidence inside, then we can't move forward. You can't move forward the way that we're supposed to move forward. I could move forward and fake it every single day of my life. But it's just not, it's not real.
It's not genuine.
It's not genuine and it's not real. You know, and confidence is, I'm assuming, I don't have any statistics, but I'm assuming that I'm not the only one. You're not the only one that struggles with confidence. I mean, I'm 45 years old. I should be pretty confident. I've survived this far. But the reality is, I'm not. I still have a lot of insecurities. I still have a lot of things that scare me. And stupid things, you know, and they all hinge around people.
Well, it's because people will people.
Yeah. Well, and because people have the ability to hurt you. Like when you love people, they have the ability to hurt you. You know? And so, like, I'm curious to know, I'm curious to see in 5 years what we're like confidence-wise, because I feel like over the last year, my confidence has soared. My confidence, because like you said, my confidence is no longer based on just me. It's based on who he created me to be. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, if he asks me to do something, then he's going to be with me as I do it. And so I don't have to worry about being confident. You know, I mean, I do, but
that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But also now we have to unlearn everything we've learned our whole entire life.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Because holy cow. And then when you meet people and like you see, like you have a conversation with them and, you know, you encourage them and because it's not just us that struggles with having confidence, you know, believing in yourself. Like, why don't we as a society believe in ourselves? I mean, we say things like, live your truth, do the, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, we do that, but is that really confidence? Like saying, I can do whatever I want to do because it's me, it's my life. That's not really confidence. That's kind of selfishness.
Arrogance.
Yeah, arrogance, pride, and selfishness.
Ego.
You know, like I'm. So true confidence. Like I think you hit the nail on the head. True confidence comes from the Father. I think that we have to cling to Him in order to be fully and completely confident in the things that we do. And even then sometimes you're like, are you sure? I mean, if you could sit in on conversations with God and I.
Well, that, and, you know, you can try these things or, you know, whatever it may be and go into it confidently and you can fail. But in failure, he's also going to hold you up.
Yeah.
So that also keeps your confidence up. Like, oh, I can fail. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because he loves you no matter what. And not only that, but you know that everything, the Bible says that, you know, he works all things to the good of his purpose. So your failure, he's going to work it out for his good. And that may mean that you grew. You know what I mean? You changed. Something happened, but it's for his good. So that helps, I think. That helps me not be like, oh, I'm going to fail, you know? And he's such a good father that he takes you through whatever he needs to take you through so that you can be confident. And we call it Godfident. Like you have confidence with God, so you're Godfident. You know, that. You like that? Mm-hmm. You're very cliche. But 1 John 3, 1-2 says, see what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know that when Christ appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. So it's this verse for me is like the reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. So when we talk about relationships and you talk about being the new kid and you talk about putting a mask on, what has happened as we've started attending church and becoming a part of the church is there's no longer a mask, right?
Right.
In relationships with people that we have relationships with here are different.
Yes.
And it's because they know him. Like that's literally what that verse says. It's because they know him and we know him. And so our relationship is built around him because we are clinging to him. And so it's different. So I know that I can walk in this building at any time, on any Sunday morning, in my worst, like terrible. And I know that these friends, these people that we love, that we've met, that we've started friendships with and become, close with, they are there to love us. And they are there to lift us up. And they will pray over us. They will encourage us. They will lift us up. And that's the difference. So if I go to work being the worst I've ever been, some guy wants a beef and cheddar. He doesn't care what I'm going through. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's wrong for not caring. When I go get a pizza, I don't care what's happening back there. I just want my pizza. But that's the difference. And so, it makes it easier to be confident in ourselves when you can be your real self.
Yeah.
Like, this is me.
Well, when you're faking it all the time, you wear this mask so often, you start the real you in this mask version of you starts to blend together, and you don't really know where you begin or where you end and the mask begins.
Yeah.
Like it all just kind of blends together. So, when you get, a minute to yourself to try and be who you think you actually are, you're still wearing a mask for your own self when you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, we convince ourselves.
Yeah. You're believing your own lie.
Yeah, absolutely. We make reasonings. It's like that scripture where it talks about to take every thought captive. It says cast down imaginations, throw away reasonings is another translation, because that's what we do. Whatever it is to make us feel better. Instead of dealing, instead of changing, instead of growing, we'll just make all the justifications, we'll give all the reasons that we need to stay exactly where we are right here, and that's it. And we, before we were like, you're right, that who I was, I appeared confident to you. Okay, let's just dig in for a second. So as you grew to love me and know me and watch me and see me, and now you have a PhD in me, you know what I mean? You know everything that there is to know. Was there a time where you saw the confidence as it really was, or did you always see me as confident?
I think I've always seen you as confident. Like you've always been independent and on top of things, and like you're always on top of things. Like you don't let nothing get by you. But I think it was the first time I seen you fall apart was really when I was like, oh, she's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
like there is a soft person underneath of that hard exterior.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other like conundrum, I guess, for me. Like I feel like I'm pretty vulnerable. Like I don't mind sharing. There are some things that clearly won't share, but like I don't mind sharing, so I don't mind being vulnerable. But I don't mind being vulnerable with the things that don't make me fall apart, that don't break me apart. Like I don't want you to see me emotional. I will be, oh, maybe I'm only vulnerable because I want you to see that I've overcame. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a selfish ambition. Like maybe I want you to be like, wow, she's really awesome. You know, I really like her. That's why I'm a try hard. I try so hard all the time, and I want to be. That's why I don't try new things, because if I can just skate along with all this stuff that I already know that I'm good at, then you're going to think I'm amazing. When in reality, I might not be amazing.
See, I want to learn all this stuff.
I don't.
Just like pack it in there. All the knowledge, all the hobbies, all of whatevers.
Yeah.
I want to know all of it.
I do not. I don't. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe like, because I'm not, I love to talk. This is, and when you're married to Corey and you love to talk, you generally do all the talking.
Well, clearly they can hear this podcast too. And just answer questions.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're just quiet, which is fine. Corey does this thing where he's just really quiet all the time, and then every once in a while he'll drop a truth bomb of wisdom on you, and you're like, who is this guy? But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard, and it's also really hard to see, others struggle with confidence, because we base our confidence on so many external factors, as opposed to basing our confidence on internal factors. That's what we should do, like who we are, who God is building us to be, who God has created us to be. You said that, and it's true, but we don't, man. We let every external thing, my boss said this to me today. This person at the store said this to me today. You know what I mean? And you're a little different than me, because you don't get like,
Yeah, I don't let things like that bother me.
it doesn't affect your
it'll-
confidence.
It might irritate me,
Yeah.
but I don't let it bring me down, or at least I try not to.
Yeah.
Like, just because someone has a terrible opinion of me doesn't mean my day's got to be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that we let so many external factors affect our internal, when really,
I mean, look at my mustache.
oh Lord. Corey's trying to get a Yosemite Sam mustache.
It's not Yosemite, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it could be.
It is. He's the only person I can think of. 'Cause I don't know. You do you. Whatever makes you happy. I don't even care.
Well, I do. I don't care.
I know you don't. But so when I wrote this blog, what I wrote, one part was, it says, what if we decide that the God who has designed all things also designed us? Imagine the most beautiful landscape you've ever seen, and now imagine the creator of that scene. The one who designed peace and beauty in one blank has also designed and created you. All of your imperfections, all of your insecurities, all of your flaws. God designed you just as you are. So next time you look in the mirror, remember that our God created you for his purpose, just the way you are. Why can't we think that way all the time? Like, well, I mean, you might. I don't know. But I don't even think that. I mean, we admire God's beauty all the time, the things that he's created in nature and all the things. But we'll be the first one. We'll be the first one, and I will spin it, and we'll be the first one to look at another human being and put them down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so who are we to judge? And that's the other part of it that we were talking on the way here in the car about, how God sees us. But he doesn't just see us. He sees everybody. And we don't have, we see people too, and we might judge them initially or whatever, but you don't ever know somebody's story, really, unless they share it with you. But you don't. And I don't think you necessarily should. We should start everything with, this is God's creation. I need to treat this
with love and respect.
With love and respect, and it goes deep into forgiveness and what do you do? And then you got criminals, and you got people in prison, and you got, people who are addicted. You have people who have been abused. You have people who are the abuser. You have so many people, and you think, how do I love these people? Well, first off, God will help you. But second off, God sees them too. And he sees them in a way that we don't see them. We don't.
He sees their whole story.
He sees everything.
Front to end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I try, a good explanation is if you're sitting inside a box, you can see inside the box everything that's going on. But if you get out of the box and you're above the box, then you can see every single thing around it. And that's him. We're in a box. We can only see what we can see. He is above all. He can see everything. So he knows everything. So who are we to make a judgment on other people? Or, well, I saw that you did this and that, you're a terrible person for that. There might be a bunch of terrible people. That might be. They're still God's kids. And there's still God's creation. And there's still parts of them that we're never going to see. But he sees them, and he sees everybody. And, we talked on the way here about people don't. So when you think about people who, you talk to people about coming to church or, about God and how the great things he's done in your life and stuff. A lot of people believe they can't come to God because they're too broken.
Yeah, because they've got back. They feel like they've got to get clean before they come.
Like they've done too many bad things in their life.
Yeah, which I was on that train once before. Like, why would God care about me? Like, all these things that I've done. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure I'm a lost cause. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't, I'm not getting in.
Yeah.
And that's not the case at all. Like, you don't, if you got a drinking problem and you know it and you're trying to find a way out of it, you don't have to quit drinking before you talk to God about it.
Absolutely.
Talk to him and he'll help you out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did something 20 years ago. Talk to him about it. He doesn't, the Bible says that once we ask for forgiveness, that it's wiped clean. And the reality is everybody has a story and nobody's perfect. And we talked about it the other day. There's plenty of things in our life. We could be any one of the people out in the world. We could be in prison. We could be a drug addict. We could be, homeless. We could be any of those things. We're not. We're lucky. We got lucky. That's the only reason. And so who are we to stand over here and say, no, we're better. We got our life together. That makes us better. God sees me just the same way as he sees anybody else. He's not keeping score.
Right.
He keeps no score. The Bible says he keeps no record of rights or wrongs. So let's just say that you and I we're mad at each other. He's not looking at you and he's like, she's so much better than you. She didn't do anything wrong. You're terrible. Will he say, that's not a godly character, Corey. Maybe I should handle that. But he doesn't. He sees everybody. It reminded me, as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about it the other day on the way to work. about, when you're loving others and they don't want to come to God, or they're scared to come to God because they don't think that they're good enough. And which is awesome. It's not awesome, but it's awesome because what they're saying ultimately is they believe there's a God, which means the Holy Spirit's already started working on them, which means there's hope. But it reminded me of the story that Jesus told of the parable of the prodigal son. Do you know that story?
You might have to remind me.
Okay. So I don't want to get it all wrong, but basically there's two sons and a father. And the father, the one son goes off and takes his inheritance money and goes off and he lives his best life. The other son stays home, helps his father on the land, does, because back then they worked and stuff. So he did all that. The one son who went off into the world, spent all his money, lived life how he wanted to live, ended up with little to nothing. And he lived that way for a little while, and then he said, maybe I'll go back home. And the way the parable reads, as he comes back, his father runs out, to meet him, like, oh, you're home, you've returned, and let's throw you a party, let's have the biggest whatever, let's, do this. But the other son is like, I've been here the whole time. And the point is that it doesn't matter. Nobody's keeping score. He's so excited that his son is home just because it's his son, and his son has come home. That the person that's been there the whole time, that doesn't devalue them. It doesn't devalue him. But his other son is home. And it's like that with people who, who've been, it's like the difference between if you've been going to church your whole entire life, and then you got people like us who come in who lived our own life for 40, well, you're not even 40 yet, but who lived our own life for a while. And then we come running back and God is just like, welcome back, let's do stuff. And these people over here are like, huh? That's where you like, that's not fair. I've been doing this. I've been sacrificing. I've been living right. I've been being, good. I've been doing what I'm supposed to do. And then there's us who's like, yeah, we fluffed off our whole life and we didn't really care about God's rules and we didn't care about God and we did whatever we wanted to do, but we're back now. And it's like that. But there's like, and I think in that story, I can't remember exactly what it says. I probably should look it up, but it talks about the angels rejoicing. When one, that's the parable of the lost sheep. That's a different one, but the angels rejoice when one comes back. You know what I mean? When they get one back. And that's what it is. It doesn't matter how dirty you are. It doesn't matter the things you've done. It doesn't matter to God. What matters to God is that you're reaching out to him because he's been chasing you this whole entire time. But people don't think that way because their confidence is so gone and they're not confident at all and they don't believe they're good enough to be loved by God. And the reality is he just loves them. He loves us. He loves us all, and people don't see that and they don't believe that. It's sad.
Well, with no confidence, it's hard to grasp something like that, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Because we've talked about it before, they're judging based on human love as opposed to God's love, which is the difference between natural and supernatural. Like sometimes our love comes with conditions, whether we want to admit that or not.
Right.
It's like I read to you in 1 Corinthians where it says, love is patient, love is kind. And I read the whole thing to you last night. I was like, wouldn't that be awesome if that's how we really loved? You know what I mean? And I heard, and I I read something and it said to take that verse and where it says love, put your own name in front of it and then use that as a guide for growth. Dawn is patient. Dawn is kind. Dawn is not rude. Dawn isn't boastful. You know, call me out on all that stuff, that Bible.
Refining you.
I know all the time, darn it. But no, it's great. But like, so if you're listening and you don't, I don't know, most of our listeners, I think people who listen, you know, I don't know. Anyway, if you're listening, God sees you. He sees exactly where you are. He knows your heart. He knows your mind. He knows your wants. He knows your needs. He knows your desires. He knows everything. So don't wear a mask for him. Let him walk you through healing. Let him walk you through what love, real, supernatural love feels like, because he is the King of all kings, and he has enough, and it's an abundance for everybody. Nobody should be out there suffering. Everyone should have hope, the hope that we have, even when things are bad, even when life falls apart. It's okay, because God's going to take care of it. I handed this to God, and I'm walking it out. And I'm only here for a minute, and I'm going to endure. But I have God, and he's always going to get me through everything. And so tell somebody that today. Tell somebody that today. God sees you. Help build their confidence. That's how we build confidence, brick by brick. That's how we build anything, brick by brick. Start with God sees you. It's really, it's really impactful when you think of it like that. God sees you right where you are. Doesn't matter.
No matter where you're at.
No matter where you're at. And he loves you. And he just wants you to talk to him. So, any other fascinating words of wisdom about confidence?
Fascinating, probably not. Since I've taken the plunge, well, you know how I used to prepare, like for the apocalypse.
Okay.
And I'm like, we got to survive it all. Like, we're gonna be survivors. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna live it. And the whole time I've been preparing for the apocalypse, you're like, just let me die. I'm just, don't save me. And I could never understand that. And I do now. Like I don't know, it's really hard to like articulate, but like I understand, like, when things go crazy like that, I'm more so on board now with I'm okay, I'm confident that God's got me.
Yes.
Whether I'm fighting, for my family or fighting for myself or whatever it may be, I'm confident that if I lost, I'm still good.
Yeah.
I'm in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really incredible that you say that. We had a conversation at work today. One of my employees was asking me about, did you see this? We got to do this or something. And I was like, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have so much faith in God's plan that I don't worry about any of that stuff, because God will protect me. God will keep me. And whatever happens, that was God's plan. And it's his purpose, and I'm okay with it. And then a few minutes later, he's like, well, did you see this? And I was like, no. Okay. So disclaimer, this is just me and my personal stuff. I don't watch the news. I don't have Facebook. So I don't really know current events. So if you want to come talk to me about...
It makes me crazy sometimes. Like, I do the same thing. Hey, did you see that? Did you see what happened? And you're like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't have any idea. And I said, literally, for me, this is just for me, ignorance is bliss. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't know things, because we need to know what is happening in our nation, and we need to know those things because we need to be in prayer about them, because prayer is where it starts. That's how we supercharge God's plan. But I don't have any of those things. So when somebody's talking to me, but that's at work I said, I have so much faith in God's plan that I'm not going to worry about those kinds of things. Well, and I hear that a lot. Well, what about this? Still have full faith in God's plan that he's going to get me through everything. Because this life that we're living is a blip. It's just a small section of time. The goal is to meet him in heaven and live forever.
For eternity.
Forever and ever. Yes. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Anyway, that's a topic for another day, the apocalyptic
you're about
planning.
to start diving me into apocalypse conversation.
I was just going to ask you how do you correlate confidence with that, with the apocalypse planning? Do you think that makes you confident, or what's the word?
I think it makes me more confident.
You think it makes you more confident?
As long as I have God and ammo, I'll be fine.
Okay. You don't think that planning has to do with insecurity?
I think it has to do with preparedness.
Oh, preparedness. So what you're telling me is that are you telling me that it has nothing to do with insecurity?
No, it might a little bit.
Okay. Lack of control,
Yeah.
which is insecurity. I think when you lack control, and it bothers you, that's insecurity. I think. I don't got a doctorate or anything. I want one though. That'd be so cool.
Dr. Dawn.
Yeah, if somebody would just sponsor me to live my life and I could just be a full-time student and, take all the classes and learn all the things, that would be really awesome. So keep praying for Dawn and Corey in their podcasting, so that we've talked about we need a studio or someplace. We're using our church right now, which is great, and it's a blessing to have that ability, but we need that and to continue to have consistency in our schedules so that we can do this, because some weeks it's hard, but
Yeah.
but this is
Just taking an hour out of a day is a challenge for us.
yeah.
A quiet hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, we have no complaints about our life. Just throwing that out
No,
there.
it's just really busy.
Yeah, it's just busy. But, yeah, so we'll be back next week. We've been planning a podcast with Lily again, so that'll be really exciting because she is a fun girl. She's fun to talk to. She talks to me. I don't just talk to her like you, Corey.
She's not quiet like me.
So anyway, have a great week. Thanks for listening. And remember, God sees you.